This is Dungeons, Dungeons, and more Dungeons.
I cast Broom of Doom!
I cast Dipper Hat. I'm just gonna wear this all the time now. Somebody gave me this at a
I cast Fairy Dust Bunnies! Seriously.
This is, God damn it, I love this show. Fucking damn it, I love this show. Every time it comes on, it's like, shit! I love the show. I mean, this isn't even one that really shows much of the mystery or anything, but it's just so insanely entertaining. I love these people, and I love the environment, and I love the comedy, and I love the writing, and I love the voice acting. God damn it. Okay, sorry, just had to get that out there. So this is an episode.
Plus, I love the way it's so perfectly encapsulated why I never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I have nothing against people who love
not
Dungeons
at all, but it's so clearly...
It just was never meant for me. When they were talking about, like, my God, this sounds like homework.
Yes, Homework the Game. I think that was the one where I'm like, boy, did that nail it. Yeah, that's just you, so we can see. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Perfect. Keep it like that. Yeah, I mean, for me, that is always... When I play a game... I just want to not think. I mean, I want to play like a side-scroller or a shoot-'em-up or something like that. Or maybe a board game, but anything... I was actually just talking to Brad about this. Like, anything that's like, you know, thinking requires like too much intelligence. Don't get me wrong, it sounds like really bad. Oh, you don't want to think? Kinda, yeah, I really don't want to. But,
Well, my problem is that...
I mean, there's nothing wrong if you do it. Keep that brain going. Keep it thinking, please. I mean,
it's a zillion and one rules, but the thing that kind of irks me the most about it is the element of luck kind of bothers me with the dice.
That's always kind of what it looks like. I'm like, really? That's how it works?
We work so hard to come up with all these rules and this crazy shit. Yeah, it just comes down to rolling dice. Which,
but you like Risk. Isn't that kind of the same thing? It just comes down to rolling the dice.
Yeah, but there's not a bunch of fucking rules to Risk. It's pretty cut and dry. You
just take over the world.
Yeah, just take over the world. So it's pretty idiot-proof. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a way around that. So I feel like this is why I enjoy something like, you know, role-playing games like on a console or you know, computer more, where it's just like, okay, it's not just luck, you have to build up some sort of set of skill, which you can build up sets of skills, but it's not a roll of the dice. Like,
well, and then they got a little bit of LARPing in there too, which I couldn't tell if at the end that was like a loving tribute or like really mean. I mean, I'm not a LARPer either, but I was just like, wow, that was kind of harsh.
I couldn't figure this out. Yeah, I felt the same thing. I'm like, wow, it's like, don't you think maybe, you know, we're just using fantasy as an escape? And then it's like, whoa, it's like,
fortresses can't talk.
Yeah.
I like the little but on top of that, on top of it being just so funny,
but just to reiterate, I have no problem with Dungeons and Dragons. I have no problem with LARPing. Different strokes for different folks. So.
Yeah, it's like the pony thing. If you like ponies, great. I don't get it.
Way.
It's not my thing, but if you do, nothing wrong with it.
I'm sitting here with a broom in my hand and a pot on my head.
I have a Dipper hat. We clearly have our weird obsessions.
We clearly are not ones to judge others.
Which they also really well addressed in this.
They went all meta.
Yeah, there's a lot of meta jokes.
What? Like, yeah, it's a kid show, but there's a lot of jokes that go over adults' heads. And there's a great mystery involved.
The one where I was kind of like, you didn't need that was the twin brother thing. Like, I get it, because I'm sure people are going on the internet like, what? But...
Well, it's their nice way of just saying they don't give a shit.
Yeah, like, watch us anyway. We're still good.
We'll actively make fun of you.
Yeah. Yeah, Weird Al Yankovic as, what the hell is he called again?
Improbator or something?
Improbator or something like that. And was it
I am the wizard!
Was it Princess Unattainable?
Yeah. It's fine, Princess Unattainable!
And the hot elf who's just called Hot Elf.
Games like over and stuff. Excelsi, whatever.
The 90s tribute there. You know, whenever I see that, people make fun of the 90s and so on, like, yo, when they try to get hip and extreme, it is one of those things where it's like there's...
I'm so glad some of that's over. We still have
No, I'm glad that people are addressing, like, yeah, this was stupid. Like, we're having fun with it, don't get me wrong,
maybe
but
corporate
like,
America will wise up then.
There was this part where I was younger, I was just like, is this where it's all going? Is this all just gonna be like this?
Yo, diggity dungeons and all that!
Yeah. It's just one of those things. When I was younger, I just really thought, oh my god, this is just where all entertainment is going, and all these really good stuff isn't really coming out anymore.
No,
because trying to be cool. And it's like, no, it's just faces.
The kids who grew up in the '90s now look back on it and realize how fucking stupid.
Yeah,
it
I
was.
guess like the '60s or '70s. Or
we had the
all that
disadvantage of we were already like halfway into our teen years, so we already were like, this is stupid as we lived it. But yeah, the kids now have like grown up and look back and see how much they were being played, just like we look back and look at like Transformers and be like, yeah, I guess it was really just to sell toys.
But I'm still nostalgic for that shit. I love that shit. I'll still put on like a Tiny Toons.
I felt the same way though with Dippers. It's like, wow, the '90s must have been a dark time to live. I'm like, yeah, you don't know the half of it, kids.
Like, yeah, but it was fun.
There were parts that were amazing, things like Jurassic Park and like, but
even the '90s stuff. It's the pure nostalgia goggles.
Again, Simpsons did it perfectly with Poochie. I think that encapsulated everything that was wrong with the '90s. I think I lost it like the mid '90s when they did the Chuck E. Cheese commercials where they made him some red rollerblader, and I'm like, no.
Everybody was rad. To the
I'm like,
extreme.
no. I'm like, this is fucking Chuck E. Cheese. Don't try to make him hip.
We get more of sort of the separation between Mabel and Dipper.
It was so sad.
I like it because it wasn't like, it was there, you couldn't not see it, but it wasn't too hammered in. It's not like, oh, just the next episode is going to be that. You can sort of tell it's going to be over time.
Poor
and
Mabel.
I like that, though. Because I like their... I like their friendship and their camaraderie and everything so much that the idea of seeing it slowly break up, it's like, I can tell, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to see that happen, but on the other hand, that'd be so fascinating to see, because I just see them as such a duo. So I'm really down for that.
Yeah, no, I'm getting all sad about that. I'm like, aw.
I like, we get more for it. I mean, we have a new character, pretty much, in Stan's brother, which is great, and he's, again, I'm glad he's not just a stick in the mud. Like, when he brings out the game, he's like, oh my god, we gotta play this, and we gotta, and they make him a lot of fun.
What I loved about the episode is how they all came together in the end.
Yeah, and they all sort of do their different things. I told you
it's not just about math, there's also risk and imagination. Risk? Imagination! So.
Actually, the funny thing about that is that it actually did remind me, the first time I went to a con and I heard there was a card room, I just like, like card games and stuff, like, oh great! I thought it was gonna be poker. That's real. Like, I was really excited.
Wow,
dude! Oh,
it's
magic and stuff.
Really?
Like,
really?
Okay. I'd never been to a con before, so when I went,
were you at a con in Vegas? That's the only excuse you could have for thinking.
I don't know. I played poker like in just bars and stuff. I mean, like whatever. Just it's you just don't say it, but. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be like an official thing. They'd have to have like a boat attached to the con.
Dude, I'm sitting here with a metal bowl over my head, and I think that's pretty dumb.
It's my first con. I didn't know. Even once in a while, there's still a little part of me that goes off when I hear like the card drum. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. If it's your thing, that's fine. It was just funny. But yeah, I think
I do want to note something though. I felt that for all the talk about Dungeons and Dungeons and more dungeons, there was a glaring hole, which is. Mabel came up with the bouncy shoes, but then she also came up with a bunch of flaming swords. I didn't see a role for that. I'm just saying. I didn't see a role for that.
I just assumed it was something like I didn't understand, but I was kind of thinking that too.
I think they cheated, just like Grunkle Stan cheated with the dice and the gum. I think she like just pulled that out.
But
I'm surprised Weird Al Yankovic the Wizard there was like, hey, wait a second, you never rolled.
But it's Dungeons and Dungeons and More Dungeons real life version. Maybe the rules are a little different.
Maybe that's the More Dungeons part. You get 3 moves, and the Wizard wasn't taking advantage of it. I don't know. I don't know the rules. God knows they're going to have a rule book for this now.
Volume 1, that was my favorite too. Rules, Volume 1.
Yeah.
Well, what's the line from Bob's Burgers? And oh my god, why am I analyzing this so much?
Oh my god, why am I analyzing this? Was that the Brony episode?
Something like maybe. Equestronauts or no, Equesticles or whatever it was called.
No, those are the fans who are male, I thought.
Oh, okay. But yeah, this is it's mostly just kind of a fun episode, but it was so much fun. And I don't even really follow D&D or a lot of those games, but I thought they so well represent both sides of the people that just don't care and can't get into it, but also like
but everybody
the side that can be a little fun.
That was the important.
Yeah, and they all sort of found something that they enjoyed.
I've never gone. I'm not a D&D person. I got roped in by a friend to going to some Magic game down in the basement of a comic book shop, and I could tell you, not for me. I was never more freaking bored in my entire life. And this was back when this was like the late 90s or something. But the thing is, I'm like, hey, I'm glad they're having fun.
It's like video games. I mean, if you like video games, great. If somebody doesn't, it's not like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, or if you do like video games, what the fuck's wrong with you? No, go ahead.
Different
it's your
strokes for
thing.
different folks.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
So I have friends who play D&D, and I'm like, that's cool. More power to them. I've been asked before, and I'm like, no, I'm good. You know,
I think I like it because it very accurately shows both sides of like why people would be into it and why people would not be into it.
Well, I like that if for all the making fun of the math, it got the imagination and that part of it, because that's what appeals to me the most. It's, you know, all the rules in the die don't really, like, but, you know, the storytelling aspect I think is cool, so...
Yeah, so, yeah, it's fine if anyone's like, you know, you son of a bitch, you hate... Well, first of all, we're fucking... Look at what we're wearing. I mean, we're not going to be ones to talk about that.
No, you should take us seriously!
And second, yeah, we don't care. If you like it, we know we're friends with lots of people that are into it and stuff like that. It's just not our thing. If you like it, have fun. It's probably a thinking person's game, I'm sure, and a lot of imagination stuff. It's just not for us.
Yeah, knowing our fan base, we're going to come in and be like, get a life.
Yeah, come on, guys! Who in my fan base would play Dungeons and Dragons? Come on! Weirdos in our dipper hat and bull hat and broom swords.
So Sweater Watch, or Swatch, as I like to call it, Swatch 2015. We started off with a puzzle piece, some puzzle pieces.
Then the Ducktective, right?
There was the Ducktective at the end, and then there was like some sort of nightgown she was wearing. I swear it was like a old floppy disk.
Oh yeah, no, that's always her nightgown. She always has that.
I don't think I ever noticed that before.
So. Really? She's had it, I think, from like episode 1. Can't believe you never noticed that.
I wasn't initially looking at like trying to pay attention to the sweaters from episode 1.
Now it's like a thing.
Yeah, now I'm just like if I'm worried there's going to be more than one sweater and I have to remember them, I'm like really paying attention to what she's wearing. So.
I did not get a chance to look up the code this time, but we have like a million vlogs to shoot today, so we're just trying to run through them. Do the research. That's the place. In honor of the Dungeons and more dungeons, and you're supposed to do math and codes and stuff like that. Go find out the code for yourself. Or maybe I'll just say in the next one, who knows.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good episode.
Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. It had, you know, little dabs of the mystery, but not too much. It was really just sort of a fun episode, which is nice to return to. And I'm totally comfortable with this, you know, with Stan's brother being a part of the cast now. I think he's a lot of fun.
I am too. I'll miss the Dipper
wonderful.
Mabel, but I thought they resolved that nicely in this one, so they'll... It seems like they're keenly aware of what they're doing. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm not worried.
Whenever I come to this show, it really is like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I just feel like, no, I'm in good hands. I'm not gonna be like it almost feels weird reviewing it even because it's like, when am I ever gonna say anything bad? It's so rarely. You know, I so rarely say anything bad about it. Even when I do say something bad, it's like, but the show is not bad by any means. I'm trying to think we ever saw a bad episode yet. And that's impressive. No, I haven't seen very impressive for a show.
So.
And it's just, every time I come to it, it's just like, it's like seeing old friends. It's like, here we go, and here's our next adventure, and it just makes me feel like a kid, but I can appreciate it as an adult, because there's just enough for both. So, yeah, I just love it, man. And every single time it comes on, I just get warm and fuzzy inside, and I love these people, and, man, they do such good work. So, yeah, can't wait for the next one. We'll definitely see you guys there. Later. Eat Broom of Doom!